So this week, our heroes go back in time on Lovecraft Country.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
This is the story of a boy and his dream. But more than that, it is the story of an American boy in a dream that is truly American.
Hi everyone, I'm Brian Graves for Fans Be Like, and as always, it's Monday, we're talking Lovecraft Country. So this week's episode was like the darkest timeline of Back to the Future. Our heroes went back to the Tulsa Massacre of 1921. It was brutal and awful, but also seemed to follow the rules of time travel set forth in Back to the Future. And even though that's a lot of fun, the subject matter here is dark and hard to confront. Again, Lovecraft Country does not shy away from our historical darkness when dealing with racism and brutality that we have in our history. And boy, I don't know if we can get much darker than the Tulsa Massacre, especially through the eyes of Montrose, who lived through it as a young man and has to face it again. All of his scenes, when they travel back in time, were just gut-wrenching and beautifully performed, and just, oh, man, it was really powerful, and I was very moved by all of that. Of course, they have to go back in time to get the Book of Names, which was destroyed in the fires of the Tulsa Massacre, and that makes Atticus the most badass book collector of all time. First, you got to get the pages of Titus. Then you have to get the book Lovecraft Country from the future. Now you got to go back in time to get the Book of Names. I mean, how fantastic is all of that? It's like traveling through time and space and alternate dimensions to collect cool books. What a fantastic superhero power. So our time traveling journey begins with Hippolyta coming back. Fantastic. And because of her time traveling, she's now somewhere between the ages of 30 and 200. I'm not quite clear on that, but it does make her the same age as Doc Brown.
Great Scott.
Strangely, the observatory has moved from Kansas to Kentucky. It's in Kansas in episode 5. In this episode, it's in Kentucky. I don't know if that's thematic or not. Maybe next week it'll be at the Kremlin. So Hippolyta brings them all to the time machine for the most meta repair of a time machine ever. In order to repair the flux capacitor, one must become the flux capacitor. And she sends them back in time, as I said, for a grueling experience getting that Book of Names back. And of course, when they try to get back, the time machine's broken. And so Hippolyta must channel 1.21 gigawatts right through her body, turning her hair blue, and bring everyone back at the last possible second. I mean, as dark as this show is, it is also an insane amount of fun. So, it's such a crazy juxtaposition of those two things, of like wild sci-fi tropes and really fantastic humanistic qualities. It's got it all. It really does a fantastic job of walking those lines. So we have one episode left. What is going to happen? I mean, is Christina going to kill Atticus? Is Atticus going to be able to use the Book of Names to thwart her spell and to become immortal? What's going to happen with Letty in this pregnancy? I mean, I just have so many questions, and it could go in so many different directions, and that's one of the lovely things about the show. I never know what to expect. So, and how is Hippolyta going to play into this? She is now this wise sage, having lived 200 years in the future, and has a real groundedness to her in this episode, and maybe she knows, more about what they're going through than even they do. So I am really looking forward to next week's episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll talk about it next week. I've been Brian Graves. This has been Fans Be Like, and as always, we're talking Lovecraft Country.
Magic is not something to be feared, but a gift to pass on. Every person in the world, it's gonna change everything.
It's too damn risky. Look what we've been through to get here. not fighting now.
Great Scott!